talk about?
What, 30 for 30. What if I told you the U.S. I mean, this begins in so many. You were watching the game. I came down there at halftime, and your face, you looked like you saw a ghost. And this was, we saw on Friday that U.S. maybe said we turned the corner. They didn't. You look at the body of work. What do you say about this program, this team?
It's not just about tonight. And anyone at home, sitting at home, saying it's about the game against Trinidad and Tobago, 100% unequivocally, it is not about tonight. It is a complete embarrassment when you look at CONCACAF for the amount of resources and the amount of money that is put into our sport. Here's what I said. If you can't beat Panama at home and you can't beat Trinidad on the road, you don't deserve to go to the World Cup. Expect the unexpected, though, Max. This is an own goal from Omar Gonzalez. Guess what? Omar Gonzalez is going to have nightmares about that. Tim Howard, he makes that save in his sleep in years past, but he's slow to react. And so now you're relying on other results, which for the life of me, I don't understand. And I heard some people, even during the broadcast, say, well, the players need to know the results. The results is simple.
Take care of business.
Get a point, you're in.
You're in.
The fact is, though, Max, it's not about tonight. It's not about Jurgen Klinsmann. It's not just about Bruce Arena. As a whole, U.S. soccer is not prepared. They have not done a good enough job of getting this group ready to play. And keep in mind, the last two Olympics, no United States. Those players that would be playing in the Olympics, 24 through 28, how many of them are in this roster? The players got to be good enough, too. So a lot of people on social media right now want to say it's Jurgen Klinsmann's fault, it's Bruce Arena's fault, it's Sunil Gulati's fault. By the way, as an ex-player, every single one of those players,
they can take some
nightmares for the rest of their lives, because this is an utter embarrassment with the amount of money that is in Major League Soccer and in this sport. You can't get a draw, a tie against Trinidad? Max, you don't deserve to go to the World This
certainly didn't. And people always say about it's tough to get points here, but I see Mexico get points.
Come on.
We can stop using that excuse.
Yes.
This is, you look at this team, you look at this, they're going to be sitting around next summer, and they're going to be watching this World Cup go on without them. So what does this program do? Is this group, do you blow it up?
This is everything, though, Max. So, because I remind everyone, 2,000 euros, Germany laid an egg, and they all came together. Bundesliga, second Bundesliga, DFB, the German Football Federation, all came together with a 10-year plan. Guess what happened in 10 years? They won that World Cup. If this failure does not wake up everyone from U.S. soccer to Major League Soccer, from pay-to-play to broadcasters to everything, then we're all insane. Because the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing, knowing the results.
Love it.
And if we don't change it, and I mean we, everyone in U.S. soccer, then what are we doing? What's the point? Because that should have never happened with the $1 billion plus that is going into Major League Soccer and youth development. That should have never happened, and it did, and every single person should look themselves in the mirror. And by the way, that's including myself. Yeah, I'm part of U.S. soccer.
We're all involved in this.
I played for the program. It's embarrassing.
We're all involved in this, and we're sick. And we look at what this team has been able to do, and a lot of times the criticism comes and they repel the criticism. The criticism, it's going to come in thick and fast. And I hear what you're saying now. The gloves are off at this point, and people got to be real. And
well, you and I have talked about this off camera. Well, guess what? I see that little red light. It's on, and I'm going to bring it up right now.
Okay.
The gloves should have been off years ago. We should have been having real criticism. And the discussion after Brazil, Max, was can we beat the Colombias and the Belgiums and the Argentinas of the world? Are you kidding me? We can't beat Trinidad on a field that's too wet and too heavy? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is the discussion that's being had. It's remarkable to me when I go on this stupid thing right here at how ignorant people are when the rest of the world, Belgium played Bosnia on a cow pasture. But we can't play in Trinidad with water in the field.
Serena brought that up. He says, bring the big boys of Europe here. And I'm like, why are we caught up in all of the outside noise? Why are we all...
It's an excuse. Now, listen,
is this an excuse?
This one bothers me, but...
It does, but we throw it away based on what you said.
100%.
The U.S. have to get the result.
This goal never happened. But again, if you are relying on others to get your job done, then you can't rely on Panama, on CONCACAF, on referees. This ball never goes in. But if I read one more tweet telling me that Panama didn't deserve it, guess what? The United States has no business being in the World Cup because you can't beat Trinidad winless in the last 9 games.
I feel like
winless in the last 9.
Great for Panama. And you know what?
Phenomenal for Panama.
Congratulations to Panama. But you said we can talk about that goal. Again, we don't care. It's about the U.S. doing their part. It seems like there were some built-in excuses, whether it was...
From the beginning, Max.
From the crowd at Red Bull Arena, from the conditions. These... Don't want to hear those anymore. In the next cycle, but those Max, have to go away. It's got to be real.
Yes, you've been around the sport long. You called my games, Max, and I'm going to ask you this question. If you lose to Mexico, Costa Rica, I can look in that camera and say, you know what, fine, fair enough. Fair enough. Those are better teams. Panama, Honduras, Trinidad, Guatemala, Jamaica, what are you doing? What are you doing? And quite honestly, with the amount of money in U.S. Soccer Federation and in Major League Soccer going into player development, then Costa Rica shouldn't be part of the discussion. The arrogance around this sport in our country bothers me, and it has bothered me from the beginning as an ex-player and now in broadcasting, because we wanted to move the needle, and I say we as a country. Can you beat Belgium? Can you beat Colombia? Can you beat Argentina? What are we can't even win in CONCACAF.
No, you can't. And a lot of people say it. I think of Belgium, who are now one of the world powers. They missed a World Cup. They reloaded. And maybe missing a World Cup can get you focused. But we don't have the...
Iceland is the same size as Corpus Christi, Texas, or Anaheim, California. They can figure it out. If the United States can't figure it out, then no business being involved, because if Iceland... An area that small, the size of Corpus Christi, Texas. I have to repeat that because that's an unbelievable reminder saying, how can we not figure this out? How can the United States not figure this out in your own region? Okay, you don't have Messi. You're not going to beat Argentina right now. Fine, but unequivocally, you should be qualifying for every World Cup. It's an embarrassing night. But I end it with this.
Please, put a little wind in the sails.
This turned around Germany. If the United States and Major League Soccer and everything continues the same road it is on, then you ask real questions.
And then we let
these kids, failure should come change.
You let these kids get a shot as well.
It's an elite sport, Max.
There's kids, we have the under 17, the under 20, they're doing it. The guard that took us last World Cup, not good enough. Not good enough. We have
the last two Olympics we missed.
Yeah.
The United States missed.